Okay. No, that sucks. That sucks. That's a bad start. We are... this is like right off the tail of the last episode. I was like, next time I'm gonna lock in, guys. And then I pull whatever the heck that was. Who messaged me? Let's read this live on record. Oh, I hate that. I started getting notifications when my friend joins a voice call in his server, and like, why? Why are you giving me this notification? This is dumb. I don't know. Rats. Are they mice? Are those mice or rats? Don't know. We are back in the mines. I want to get another good run. We had some good runs going last session. I would like that again. Almost. I almost had it. I almost had it. Almost got him. Anyway. I guess last episode I did... Fuck, dude, seriously? I'm not locked in at all, actually. I'm still actively not locked in, I guess. Last episode I said I had a tangent. I could just go on that tangent, I guess. Because I think about tangents whenever I'm at work. Because, like, what else are you going to do when you're working and you have no one to talk to, right? I just think of... I go on random tangents in my own head. Sometimes it's stuff that I'm like, oh, I could tell, you know, this person about this is something. Or I could just come up with ideas. Or I could come up with this whole conversation about what I could say in a Let's Play. Anyway, this is one of those things. I was thinking about... like, writing advice, basically. I threw that pot and it didn't break. How queer. Anyway. I was thinking about writing advice, and... writing advice is a really interesting topic, I think, because there's so much advice out there. There's like... and so many people... But one of the things you always see is that, like, everyone talks about things so definitively. And I don't know. I'm of two minds about it. I think, like, because one of the things that people are always talk about is... should I go for it? Should I kill this guy? I shouldn't have killed this guy. I need to... I know there's a strat that you can use to, like, get him good. I don't know. Anyway. One thing about writing is... you really need to, like... I don't know, with any creative career, really. Limiting yourself... Dude, we're gonna restart on that one. No, we're not. I've such a string of failures here tonight. This is bad. Anyway, writing advice. I lost my place already in the conversation. Limiting yourself is always pretty good, I think, when it comes to creative careers, because, you know, so much goodness can come from limiting yourself, and that's just a proven fact. Like, limits can often... what is it? Constraint breeds creativity? And, like, that's just true. You know? Especially when you're working on something like a game or something like that. Because that requires just so much more effort as well. But anyway, I think that, you know, people don't always need to say things so definitively either. Because I also think there's a lot of value in also just creating something and not constraining yourself at all, just doing whatever. And you know, it's nothing is ever guaranteed to be good per se, but I think that you should always just create your vision. You know, there's a lot of avenues that you could take. Like for instance, if you want to get like garner a big audience and you know, get picked up by a major publishing company or something, there are a lot of things that you just have to do, and you will have to limit yourself a lot. You know, a lot of publishers, it's like, well, they have specific like word counts and specific just criteria for any like genre you can think of. And if you want to get published by a publishing company, you kind of have to conform to that kind of thing, or your expectations of what readers of that genre would want. That's just kind of how it is, you know. If you want to get an audience, you have to, you know, constrain yourself. You can't go crazy. But also, I think that you can go crazy is kind of what I think. I think you should be allowed to do whatever you want, and that doesn't make you like immune from criticism. I'm a very lenient kind of person. I see things a lot more, I guess, not definitively or objectively. I tend to look at things more based on kind of the potential and the vibes. But also I'm weird. And you know, I don't know. Again, that doesn't mean that something's necessarily quote unquote like a masterpiece or epic or good or whatever. But there are just a lot of things that are deemed pretty bad that I tend to actually see a lot of value in and enjoy, despite its flaws, or maybe because of its flaws sometimes. Anyway, I think I see it almost like Smash Bros. Like you have like for fun and for glory. You know, you can write for either of those. If you want to write like quote unquote for glory, then like yes, that advice that you see is going to be very helpful to you. Like, constrain yourself. You know, make sure to hit all of the exact specifications that publishers and whatnot would want to see. You know, don't go crazy with your ideas. It's probably a bad idea. Anyway, don't go crazy with your ideas and everything, blah, 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 whatever. Right? That's good advice. But I don't think it's advice that you have to follow. Because I think that you can do a lot. Because I think, in my opinion, there's an audience for everything. I mean, there's literally a Smash Brothers fanfiction that's like longer than most literature in the entire world. Or at least English literature. And that's like the big famous funny party fact. And also that Loud House fanfiction, which is also even longer than it. It's like huge things. Someone's got to be reading that. Surely. So there are like audiences for that kind of crap. That's mean. I shouldn't say crap. Sometimes I just say crap just because I like the word crap. Anyway, there are audiences for that kind of stuff. Stuff like, I don't know, One Piece or whatever. It's a different medium from like a book, sure, but you know, I think that it just proves that there's like audiences for very long stories, very ambitious things like that. I mean, Xenogears, for instance. Very long, ambitious story that I almost feel like was made worse by its constraints, unfortunately. Not that it's bad. I freaking love Xenogears. But, you know. I don't know, it's one of those things where it's like, well, maybe constraining it would have been good, sure. But maybe leaving it as what Takashi and others wanted would have been even better. I don't know. Obviously, it was getting too expensive. That was the main problem. But anyway, my point is that I think there's markets for that stuff. It's just finding the market. And sometimes constraining your story into a more marketable thing is better, and it would likely help you get your audience and get popular. But also, that doesn't guarantee popularity. You could do anything and potentially get popular. It's just, I think it makes it more likely. The more you constrain yourself, the more you get picked up by publishers, the more likely it is you'll find the audience. But anyway, talking in circles, I think like my advice would be to find what advice suits you. Don't look at like one author, right, who gives you advice out, because there's a lot of great authors. This is one that I quite like, although I don't remember his name, unfortunately, which is a shame, but he gives a lot of good advice, and a lot of that is, the professional kind of stuff, like, creativity, or constraint breeds creativity, write a bunch of stuff before you even attempt publishing, blah, 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 blah. That's all good advice. However, like I said, I think find what advice works for you, and if you look at that advice like I kind of did, and I was like, well, sure, that'd work, but I kind of still want to do this anyway. I think you should just do that. Again, maybe in your best interest still to follow professional advice, but maybe another author or someone would have different advice. Maybe just following your heart, making your story, would make you happier. And I think whatever makes you happy with your story is what you should do. But there's just a lot to it. Because if constraining yourself, if you feel like that would make you happier, then do it. If you feel like just doing this crazy ambitious, like, overly complex story would make you happier, then do it. That's not good. Do it. Do whatever you want. Destroyed the freaking thing. Dang it. I think you should kind of follow your heart when it comes to your passions, your creativity. Because that's what I'm doing. I am creating something that I think will not be marketable at all. And will take way too much time. Realistically, it is a very good piece of advice to write something short. Get that created now that you've created something, and maybe you've even put it out there. Now you'll even be better. You'll be even better next time you have that experience. Crap. Oh, poopy. Well, that was very bad. Wait, I can maybe. Yes. Oh, but just look towards a lot of advice, and also make sure to look towards your heart. And I think you'll find whatever it is you're looking for, and you'll create something beautiful. And again, that doesn't mean it's going to be good, necessarily. You may even yourself look at it and think, like, wow, this sucks. But I don't know. Just do whatever. Just create, like, fan fiction. Create a bunch of short stories. Make stuff basically plagiarizing. Don't publish it. But, plagiarize your favorite things and just get that writing muscles working. Again, obviously, do not plagiarize something and publish it, but plagiarize something and upload it as like a fan fiction or something, or just don't publish it at all or something. You can do all sorts of stuff. This sucks. This is a bad layout. This is not going well for me. Crap. This is okay. But write whatever, and write it however you want to write it, because I think that will produce what is best for you. I think that's the most important part of writing. is just making your vision and not caring how marketable or whatever it is. You know, you can care about that if you want. You can focus on that, try to do that. But realistically, especially if it's your first time, I don't know. It's just hard to say, because again, there's so much. Fuck, dude, shit. There's so much, there's so many avenues that you could pursue it. But I think the reason that I say all this is because I just don't want to, like, I feel like some people might feel constrained in writing to do like what is supposedly the right way to do it, and there's no real right way to do art. You shouldn't feel that you have to do something the right way. You should just be able to do it. And, you know, you may never publish anything. And if you get to the point where it's like you feel bad because you aren't publishing anything, then, you know, well, hey, try to constrain yourself some now. But just write whatever and have fun with it. And maybe eventually one day you'll publish something and it'll be freaking awesome. I don't know. Dang it. Dude, I'm sucking so much ass tonight. Okay. Dude, really? I'm too tired for this. I needed to record this earlier instead of playing Pokemon, or record it like yesterday. Would have been nice too. Anyway, whatever. I think I made a pseudo interesting point here. Maybe if I explained it better, if I explained it well enough. Because like for my writing, I like I said, I want to write a really crazy long story. And I don't really care. Like, it's going to take me a long time before I even publish it. And you know what? Maybe it would be best if I... Okay, I thought I could make that. Maybe it would be best if I, like, wrote something shorter first and then got that experience. But I don't know. I'm just having fun with it, you know? And I think that's what matters most. Just having fun with your work. And not worrying about, like, oh, I'm going to have to hire an editor, and I'm going to have to edit this, like, 50 million times, and blah, 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 blah. Just think about it. Just write it. Just don't think about that stuff. Just have fun. You can think about that stuff after. You don't even have to care about grammar or anything. Just write. You know, if you've ever thought about writing something, just do it. Don't even worry about the publishing of it or anything or the grammar. Just have fun. Can I get the dog with one bomb? I think so. Yes. I just love writing. Like I said, don't know if I'm actually making any sense with what I'm saying. But you know, it's something I'm passionate about, and I'm better at explaining it what I think in my head. But that was stupid. Stupid snake. I'm better at explaining it in my head, and oh come on. And also when I'm not fighting for my life in the mines. But I love my writing. I just want more excuses to talk about my writing because it's freaking... It's sweet and it's epic. It's the coolest thing ever. And I get goosebumps thinking about it sometimes because I'm like, whoa, this is such a cool scene. Okay, we're just gonna lock in for this one. We're going to absolutely Lock in. We talked about riding, we talked about whatever the heck else. Now we're going to talk about spelunking. Shit, okay. If you like, you can do this little move where you crawl over the ledge and do that, but if you do that, you drop whatever you're holding, which can be very inconvenient. Right. Oh, jeez Louise. I will do like a couple spins to the shotgun. That would be very helpful. That's dumb. That's so stupid. Okay, one more spin. One more spin. Come on. Okay, well, at least we got some money back. We're gonna go even further. You know what? We're like 10 episodes in or something, right? We haven't even seen the quote-unquote incentive to speed up that I've been talking about. Oh, frick off. It was actually very surprising, because I feel like I've taken a lot of time in this game, and the fact that we have not seen the thing, which I didn't want to spoil it. Again, I'm pretty sure everyone probably knows anyway, but I didn't want to spoil it in case somebody doesn't know. Roll again. Let's get that shotgun, dude. There it is. See? Yeah. You all probably already knew about this, but you know. If you take too long, now I can actually talk about it because we've seen it. If you take too long, big ol' stupid, stinky ghost man comes in and ruins all your fun. Dummy. Yeah. The ghost. Very, very iconic, probably. I don't... Climbing gloves are already off to a great start with messing up my mojo. Like, again, I'm very surprised that we have not ran into the ghost before now, because I take a lot of time in these levels sometimes. Like they didn't increase the amount of time it takes for it to spawn, did they? In the Switch version? Because I feel like that doesn't make sense. I feel like that wouldn't be the case. Oh, no. Okay. Next time, I'm going to record this when I'm not so tired, and hopefully we'll have some more good runs. And some more good conversation, perchance. But until then, I will see you guys next time. Because you're all gonna, of course, watch the next video that is being put out, which is gonna be the Let's Play, the Fiery Played Sonic Heroes. Everyone go watch Sonic Heroes. That one's a rootin' tootin' hootin' time. Okay. Goodbye.